Hey man, Hebron Ben Bilal, man, coming back at you with another edition of this Backyard Chronicles, and you can tell by the title, getting ready to get into something that's real anecdotal and funny. Lesson I learned yesterday, but before I do, if you haven't already, man, go to the page, man, the Backyard Chronicles, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. I also have a religious channel called The Remnant of the House of Israel. If you want to get into biblical things, if you're just looking to learn about the Bible, and kind of trying to find a place, safe place where you can study and learn, go ahead and hit that, man, and subscribe to that and hit the bell for notifications, because I definitely come out with a video every week on that page, at least once a week. Getting ready to start doing something every morning called the top 3 of 5. But also, man, like and subscribe to this page, hit the bell for notifications. But without further ado, I want to tell you why the millennial generation reminds me of the Borg. And many of you probably don't know what the Borg is because you're probably too young. My daughter didn't understand it when I told her, because she's a millennial. She's the one who actually made me realize that they are the Borg. I think they're just here in human form. And they're taking a more subtle way to try to take over the universe. But the Borg is a collective think tank. Basically, it's a culture. It's really not even a culture. It's just like these people on Star Trek, not the first Star Trek with James T. Kirk, but the one with Picard on it, the bald-head white guy. And the antagonist, their main antagonist was the Borg. And the Borg used to ride around in these cubes, and they used to assimilate everybody to the way that they thought. Now, before I give you the full layout of the Borg, let me explain to you how I came to this conclusion in regard to a conversation that me and my daughter had the other day. And it's going to get a little loud and windy for a second. That's because I have to keep turning this air on. And no matter how low or high I turn it, it's loud because the speaker is very sensitive in this particular thing. One of y'all will be able to tell me why it does that. But anyway, I'm gonna stick this in the back of it and hopefully it'll silence it a little bit. But anyway, I was having a conversation yesterday with my daughter. This is actually my youngest daughter, and she was explaining to me about church. She had started going to church. She had only been one time, so it's not technically starting to go, but she went one time, and she wanted to go back. So with her wanting to go back, what she had decided to do was try to find a place that was non-judgmental, is what she called it. She said she wanted to go to a place that was non-judgmental, a place that she could go where the pastor wouldn't pass judgment, wouldn't tell people about their wrongs, blah, 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 blah. So I listened to her for a minute, and then I explained to her, I said, baby, the one thing you do need to understand is that that's what, religion, church, it's pretty much just church in general. It's pretty much predicated on pointing out the errors in your life and getting you on the right path. And church, because I used to be a practitioner of Christianity, that is one of the pillars, basically, of their faith, that, repentance of sins. And if an individual doesn't understand about sin, what do they know about repentance? Sin is wrongdoing, basically. And for lack of a better term, sin is wrongdoing, and that's what the pastor is paid to do. He's paid to get up there and point out wrong to people, bring them under conviction, and turn them away from their errors and turn them to a righteous path. So this is what the pastor is supposed to do. He's supposed to get up there and judge people, period, whether you like it or not. So she went on to tell me, no, that's not right. It's not, there's another way to go about doing that. Blah, 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 blah. And she went on and on. So I listened to her for a minute. So I went back and reasserted myself into the conversation. I explained to her, I said, look, in that book, in the Bible, this is what Christians go by. They go by this manuscript, this Bible, black and white. It tells you in the Bible to be judgmental. Basically, you're to judge people in accordance to their going-ons, what they do, what they don't do, what they should be doing. Excuse me about this air again for a second. What they should do, what they shouldn't be doing. And this is a part of the tenet of their faith, that this is what they're supposed to do. And I'm sorry for keep moving the camera. But once again, like I said, I don't want that air. The air is so loud. So this is what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to bring people to the point of repentance by judging their behavior. So once again, she went on this whole thing about nope, 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 nope. That ain't right. They shouldn't do that. Da, 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 da. They shouldn't do that. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's wrong. So I said, hold on. Just listen to her for a second. So as I was listening to her, the first thing that came to me was the Borg. The first thing that came to me was the Borg. Because what the Borg do, and I lightly explained it to you at the beginning of the video, is what the Borg do is the Borg will go from galaxy to galaxy, to solar system to solar system, assimilating different cultures. It doesn't matter if their intelligence is superior to the Borg. It doesn't matter if their technology is superior to the Borg. Their ways of life are superior to the Borg. It doesn't matter. The Borg goes in, they give the people a warning and say, hey, we are the Borg. Assimilate or be destroyed, period. The Borg don't see it but one way. Either you assimilate to our way of logic or we're going to obliterate you. You will cease to exist. We're going to get rid of you because our way of seeing things is correct. So when I'm hearing my daughter say this, I'm saying to myself, this is not the first millennial that I heard, especially my nephew Daquan. He always says we agree to disagree on everything, everything. And he calls our logic boomer logic. You know, our, I guess, ways of thinking are outdated, as millennials say, and are inferior to the way that they see things. They are a lot like the Borg. They don't want to hear nothing. Nothing. Change it. Change it to fit the way that makes us feel good. This is my daughter telling me how the church needs to change so that she will attend. I'll tell you, the first thing I thought about was the Borg. I said, they're like the Borg. So what they do, what the millennials do, is if you don't agree with them, much like the Borg, they give you two options. They can shame you and bring you. So say you jump in the fold with the Borg. Say you get assimilated into the Borg collective, as well as this millennial hive, because that's what the Borg is called. It's called a hive. So say you jump into this mind construct, the hive, on both ends, the millennial end and the Borg end, right? So say you jump in. If you start to show signs of disconnecting from the Borg, what the Borg will do is they'll like send some minions, like the collective will send, the centralized mind will send minions down there. And what they're to do is they're to kind of like tweak you and fix you and get back on track to get you back in. Or if you break down or whatever, they'll send people down there to fix you. Sort of like what the millennials do. Once you are a part of their collective, if you kind of start to show defiance or disagreeing with the collective, with this squared pattern of thought that I don't even know what to call it, with their ideologies and philosophies and opinions that they just manifested out of nowhere. I don't even know where they got this stuff from. They don't even have an origin for it. But if you don't agree with it, their whole feel-good mentality, society, free willish, and I'm gonna show you why it's not free will. If you don't agree with it, what they'll try to do is they will try to shame you to bring you back into the collective. Now, if you don't acquiesce and get back in line, they will destroy you by canceling you. Sort of like what the Borg do. The Borg do the same thing. Once they assimilate you, if you start to kind of get loose from the collective mindset, they tweak you, bring you back in. But if they see that they can't get you back in line, they just destroy you and use you for parts. Hence, them canceling you. This is what they do. So this is, and every time I have a conversation with a millennial, if you show them something or you sit down and you just try it and you discuss anything philosophically, your opinion from a generation bygone, right? and how you view things, just marriage in general, just use marriage, and how we view things in marriage as boomers. They will become so argumentative and irritated and agitated. The first thing they'll tell you is that's old logic. That's the old way of seeing things. See, they have like these arguments that they write in pen, and they stick them to a board, some type of board where you can just Google it, and if you're a part of their collective, you're programmed this way, and this is how you answer. It's sort of like a Christian answering questions. Everything is almost scripted. Oh, that's old logic. See, we think like this now because we're a part of the collective, and they all answer the same way. And if something doesn't fit them, what they do is, as a collective, they come for you. They come for you as a collective, and they try to shame you into converting to their logic. And if they can't shame you into converting, they just cancel you. And that's what the Borg do. Now, let me say this. In regard to, and I apologize for all the wind. If there's wind, it's because I had to turn the air. It's 80 degrees down here today, and I know some of y'all somewhere cold. Well, it's 80 degrees already down here. But anyway, what the Borg, they just, those two particular groups, man, are just, and oh, let me share this with you in regard to the Borg also. Now, when the Borg manifests itself in a physical form, it manifests itself as a woman. So the woman is a representative of this non-negotiable line of logic where they don't care about how you see things. It's going to be my way. It's just ran this way. There's no compromise. I ain't going to sit down. There's no rather. You're going to This is what manifests when the Borg manifests itself. It manifests itself in the form of because of the way that they are. Wherever they go, they assimilate other cultures, and they don't care. If you try to disconnect, they tweak you. If you don't conform, they kill you. And this is this generation. Oh, one last thing that I wanted to mention was the free will thing. They always talk about that they want, oh, everybody has free will to do what you want. No. You have free will, but if it falls in this little circle thing that they've created, if it falls within their philosophies, thought, gender fluidity circle, then you're acceptable. If you're a male and you tuck your tail, that male toxicity and machismo, it don't fit in their circle. You have to be a beta to get in their circle. You can't be alpha at all, period. You got too many muscles, you probably disqualified. You can fit in their circle, and that's the only way. But they preach this free will, and everybody has a right to think the way they want to think. But as soon as your logic goes against theirs, they shame you or cancel you. They are the Borg, man. I'm telling you right now, the millennials are the Borg. They just don't have the cubes. They don't have the technology to get to other planets and solar systems. If they had the technology, if this generation had the technology, they would go to other galaxies and solar systems and would be so arrogant that they would try to force superior superior races or superior beings to fall in line with their logic and how they seen things. Even if a superior being was levitating and was telling them, hey, listen, flying and doing everything else, and telling them, hey, the way you're thinking is wrong. No, you have to conform to or we're going to cancel you, Superman. This is what they would do. This is what they would do. So anyway, man, I digress. I just wanted to share that thought with you, man, how I see that this generation is the Borg. They absolutely are the Borg. Hey, man, once again, man, I want y'all to have a great day. It's beautiful out here in Columbus, Georgia, man. If you're down here, get out, enjoy the sunny weather, man. Ibrahim bin Bilal, man, come back at you with another edition of this Backyard Chronicles, man. Giving wisdom to the wise. If you don't know how to think, I just gave you an opinion. And hey, man, to all the Borg out there, Keep doing what y'all do, man. Y'all make my day. All right, man. Y'all have a good day.